What is going on, everybody? Welcome to a brand new series. This series is going to be called, if you didn't notice from the thumbnail and the title, 99's Done Easy. Now, a long time ago, I did a series called The Lazy Player's Guides, and that was all skilling guides in the laziest possible way you could do it. This one's going to be a little bit different. That was several years ago, and I wanted to go back and revamp these guides with newer methods that you can use now that new items, stuff like that, are out. So our first one is going to be 99's Done Easy, Runecrafting. And if you're like me, you probably hate the skill, but we are going to go through several methods of which you can get 99 runecrafting with that I think are the best choices. Now, there are other options that you could do. You can find those on the wiki, but for this one, we're just going to cover 4 or 5 of them. Hey, before we start, if you happen to be a fan of the Pokemon trading game, like myself, I have started a brand new YouTube channel where I will be posting all kinds of Pokemon content, including hit rates, pack ripping, daily rips, maybe some rip and ships, and information and news about the Pokemon TCG. So if you're interested in subscribing to my new channel, there is a link in the description below, which will take you there. I would really appreciate if you guys subscribed. So let's get this show on the road. 99 runecrafting. How do you do it? Well, we're going to start out with quests. When starting out, the first thing you want to do is the Rune Mysteries quest. There are no requirements to complete this quest, which means it can be done as soon as an account lands in Lumbridge right after Tutorial Island. The reason for doing this quest is more so for Iron Man accounts, as this quest is required to enter the Rune Essence mines. Additionally, you'll also need this quest to use experience lamps and books on the runecrafting skill. Just like with most skills, there are several other quests that can be done to boost your runecrafting level up without the tedious methods of training that are involved with the skill. And just for reference, all the quests that reward runecrafting experience are the Ascent of Arceus, Enter the Abyss, which is a mini quest, the Slug Menace, Perilous Moons, Temple of the Eye, Devious Mines, Lunar Diplomacy, the Eyes of Gloofrey, What Lies Below, and the Fremenic Isles. Now, of course, lower level or newer accounts won't have all of the requirements to complete all of these quests, but there are a few to focus on to get those early levels out of the way easily. These quests have relatively low requirements and can be done in a short amount of time. Additionally, they are very necessary for account progression. These quests are Enter the Abyss, the mini quest, which has no requirements, the Ascent of Arceus, which only requires level 12 Hunter, the Eyes of Gloofrey, this one does require level 5 Construction, 46 Magic, and the prior completion of the Grand Tree quest, which is very useful for newer accounts. Temple of the Eye, which requires 10 runecrafting, and you'll also gain 4,210 runecrafting XP during this quest, with an additional 5,000 at the end as a reward. And finally, the Slug Menace, which requires level 30 crafting, 30 Slayer, and 30 Thieving, easily achievable for newer accounts. Completing all of these quests will provide a total of 20,210 runecrafting experience, which will raise a player's runecrafting level from 1 to 33 without any form of traditional skill training. If you choose to go this route, then you'll probably be able to craft lava runes right from the start, which is the best high intensity training method available, or get right into the Guardians of the Rift minigame. Obviously, we will cover both of those in a little bit. A huge boost to the runecrafting skill's experience per hour rates when doing certain activities is dependent on the use of essence pouches. These pouches are simple to obtain and can be acquired as drops from monsters within the Abyss, which you will gain access to after completing the Enter the Abyss mini quest or searching the rewards guardian at Guardians of the Rift. There are 4 variations of pouches that can be obtained through these 2 methods, those being the small, medium, large, and giant pouches. The small pouch may be used at level 1 runecrafting and will hold 3 additional essence. The medium pouch can be used at level 25 and hold 6 additional essence. The large pouch can be used starting at level 50 and holds 9 additional essence. And the giant pouch may be used starting at level 75 and can hold an additional 12 essence. All of these pouches used together will allow for an additional 30 essence. Beyond these 4 pouches is the Colossal Pouch. This pouch is created by using an Abyssal Needle while owning all 4 of the other pouches I just mentioned. The Colossal Pouch can actually be used starting at level 25 runecrafting, but it will only hold 8 additional essence. This number scales up to level 85, where you will eventually then be able to store an additional 40 essence in it. When starting out with the runecrafting skill, crafting air tiaras is another viable option for leveling quickly early on. Generally, this method is good for level 1 through about level 50. Unfortunately, this method is a bit focus intensive, so if you're looking for an easier AFK method, check the timestamps below to find out what you're looking for. In order to make a tiara, you will have to have both a blank tiara and a talisman in the inventory, which is used on the corresponding altar to create the tiara. This method can be slightly expensive for newer accounts, especially when trying to get the fastest experience rates. Required items for this method, to make it fast anyway, are a Ring of the Elements, Charged Amulets of Glory, or Dueling Rings for quick banking. The Ring of the Elements is a reward from the Guardians of the Rift minigame, but can be purchased from the Grand Exchange for about 600,000 coins at the time this video is being made. The ring will also need to be charged. This can be done with one of each elemental rune, which are air, earth, fire, and water, and one law rune per charge. This costs about 150 coins per charge. The total experience for level 50 is 101,333. Crafting an air tiara will get you 25 experience per tiara, and therefore you will need a total of 4,054 blank tiaras and air talismans. At the time this video is being made, the supplies for the tiaras will cost you around 720,000 coins, hence my comment earlier about it being slightly expensive for newer accounts. As for time spent, you'll be able to craft 14 tiaras per trip, resulting in a total of 290 trips to the air altar, providing you're using Amulet of Glory. If paying attention and moving at a decent clip, you can see right around 36,000 experience per hour, meaning you'll spend just under 3 hours getting from level 1 to 50 runecrafting. So, total cost: a Ring of the Elements for 600,000, 720,000 for the blank tiaras and air talismans, 26,000 for dueling rings, and I would suggest these over Amulets of Glory because they're much cheaper and degrade after use, meaning you won't have to keep recharging them, and about 45,000 GP for charging the Ring of the Elements, putting you at a total cost of around 1.4 million GP. I do want to note that if you decide to use the dueling rings over the Amulet of Glory, you'll only be able to craft 13 tiaras per trip, as your ring slot will be taken up by the Ring of the Elements. This would increase your total trips to 312. But fortunately, when you are done, you could sell the Ring of the Elements and Amulets of Glory, if you chose to use those, off and recoup that 600,000 for the ring and roughly 600,000 for the glories if you buy them all at once, bringing your costs down to somewhere in the area of 800,000. So now let's check out some methods that can be done from a certain point all the way to level 99. The first we will check out is lava runes. You can begin crafting lava runes starting at level 23, which if you chose the questing method from 1 to 33, you are already there. Or perhaps you only wanted to do air talismans to level 23. Either way, this method is the fastest runecrafting experience in the game that doesn't require additional processes outside of just buying the supplies that you need. But it does require a lot of attention and most definitely is very click intensive. For this method, you'll need binding necklaces, the completion of lunar diplomacy, along with 82 magic to cast the magic imbue spell. This spell will remove the requirement of having a talisman for combination runecrafting. Now, this guide is made to help you make the best decision for which training method might be right for you, and the full guide for lava runecrafting deserves its own guide video. I currently don't have one, but for your convenience, I have linked a guide on this method in the description below. So after seeing experience rates, check that out if you want to pursue lava runecrafting. At level 23, expect to see between 35 and 38,000 experience per hour. At level 50, you can expect to see between 55 and 60,000 experience per hour. This will also assume that you are using the small, medium, and large essence pouches, which can be obtained from killing monsters in the Abyss or the Guardian at the Guardians of the Rift. At level 75, 60 to 65,000 XP per hour, and this XP rate assumes you'll be using a large and giant essence pouch. And finally, from level 85 to level 90, you can see up to 93,000 experience per hour. Our next method to 99 begins, or can begin, at level 1, but more than likely, you'll be taking on this method later in the runecrafting grind due to the quests and levels needed to use this method efficiently. The Ourania Altar, also known as ZMI, is a much more relaxing and semi-AFK method to training your runecrafting. For this method to work well, you will have to have unlocked the Ourania teleport on the Lunar Spellbook to be able to teleport directly there. You can do this by completing the Lunar Diplomacy quest and then speaking to Baba Yaga while the Lunar Spellbook is active. Additionally, being on the Lunar Spellbook is needed to quickly use NPC contact to contact the Dark Mage in the Abyss to repair your essence pouches when they break. Additionally, if you have the medium Ardoin diary completed, the perks from that will increase the amount of runes that are crafted, but it will reward no additional experience. At the Ourania Altar, you have the option of using Pure Essence or Dayalt Essence. Dayalt Essence will provide decently higher experience rates, but this type of essence isn't tradable and has to be acquired by mining Dayalt shards and then trading them for an equal amount of essence. Before we move on to the next training method, we'll take a quick look at the experience rates. You'll notice here that the experience rates from level 85 and onward exceed that of lava runes, providing you are using Dayalt Essence, but in the grand scheme of things, you'll most likely spend about the same amount of time getting to 99 using normal Pure Essence as you would mining the Dayalt Essence to offset the experience increase. Personally, I would suggest just buying the Pure Essence needed if you decide this is the method you want to pursue. Like the Lava Rune method, this method deserves its own guide to explain how it's done. So again, if you are interested in this option, you can check the description below for a link to a good ZMI Runecrafting guide. Guardians of the Rift, if you haven't heard of it or are new-ish to the game, is a minigame that is an alternative way to train the runecrafting skill that doesn't make the skill such a hard, tedious, and/or miserable grind. For this method, you'll be able to earn runecrafting experience, of course, but you'll also gain passive mining and crafting experience to push those skills along while the main focus stays on runecrafting. In order to participate in this minigame, you will need to complete the Temple of the Eye quest. Additionally, there are other quests that will also be useful to have done, but are definitely not required. Those quests and their reasons are Lunar Diplomacy for casting NPC contact to have your essence pouches repaired, Lost City to craft cosmic runes, Troll Stronghold to craft law runes, Morning's End Part 2 to craft death runes, and Sins of the Father to craft blood runes. Some of the quests have a rather high requirement set, so it's not the end of the world if you can't get to them yet. For this minigame, you'll also want to use the best pickaxe you have available, as well as all essence pouches available. Experience rates are pretty decent for what I would say is definitely a lower effort training method. From level 40 to 50, you can expect around 25,000 per hour, 50 to 75, 40,000 per hour, 75 to 85, 50,000 per hour, and from 85 to 99, around 65,000 per hour. Once again, I don't personally have a Guardians of the Rift guide, but I have linked a good one in the description below. If you check out the guides that I have linked in this video, don't forget to give those YouTubers a subscribe too. They definitely deserve it if you find their stuff helpful. The last method I will cover is going to be the crafting of blood and soul runes at the Arceus Essence Mines. This is the method that I personally use from 77 to 99. In my opinion, it was the most relaxing, easiest, and most AFK-ish option. For this method, you will need 38 mining, 38 crafting, which you should probably have if your runecrafting level is 77 or higher, a chisel, a pickaxe, a high-ish agility level, and the bare minimum would be 73 for the agility shortcut used. Additionally, some nice to haves for this are the Guardians of the Rift outfit, Raiments of the Eye, that will provide additional runes when worn while runecrafting. Or if you don't have that, a set of Graceful, in my opinion, it's actually better, to reduce run energy consumption. To further reduce run energy consumption, you can also use a Ring of Endurance with at least 500 charges. Having the medium Karen and Kebos diary completed will give a 5% chance to mine 2 dense essence blocks at once. Last, if you happen to be close to or have the Karen and Kebos elite diaries completed, you will get 10% more blood runes while crafting them. So if you are close to that completion, I would suggest going ahead and getting it just so you can earn that extra income. For this method, you will have to repeat the same process over and over again, but it is semi-AFK as you'll be mining some of the time, and you'll be able to focus on some other tasks here and there. To start the rotation, you will want to first mine a whole inventory of dense essence blocks. Next, you will want to travel to the Dark Altar, which you passed on the way in, to create dark essence blocks. While running back to the mine, you will use your chisel on the blocks to break them down into shards. Next, you will mine a second inventory of blocks, make your way back to the Dark Altar, and create another inventory of the dark essence blocks. On your second inventory, and once it's made dark, chisel one of these and leave the rest, as you won't be able to chisel anymore until your first batch is crafted into runes. From here, make your way to either the Blood or Soul Altar to craft your runes. Chisel your second batch of blocks while at the altar, craft your runes, and then head back to the Essence Mine to start the process all over again. This is easy enough, and for this method, the XP rates are a bit on the lower side of some of the other methods we covered, but on the upside of that, the activity is much less intensive in the long run, and you'll also turn a very decent profit if doing this from level 77 to 99. For blood runes, you're looking at about 36,000 experience per hour, and soul runes around 44,000. As for income, you'll see between 700 and 800,000 profit per hour if you are using the Guardians of the Rift outfit, and 400 to 500k without. As for soul runes, between 400 and 450,000 GP per hour with the outfit, and around 250,000 without. So with that, that is going to conclude the methods that I am listing in this video. If I was starting a brand new account, had to start 99 runecrafting all over again, everything in this video would be considered based on how I was feeling that day. Whether I wanted to be click intensive and do lava runes, or if I wanted to just hang out and do some blood and soul runes while watching a Netflix series or something like that. Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, this is not everything that you can do to 99 runecrafting. There are other methods, and you can find those methods on the wiki under the pay to play runecrafting training page. So if you are interested, you can check those out, or you can just choose one of the methods in this video and carry on your merry way and get yourself to 99 runecrafting. As always, I would like to thank you all for watching this video. If you haven't done so yet and you would like to see more old school RuneScape guides and content, please click the subscribe button on your way out. I would really appreciate it. If you like this video, you can leave a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave those down below, as I do try to read them all, and I try to read and respond to as many as I possibly can. As always, once again, thank you guys for watching. I will see you on the next one. Take it easy.